It leads towards the bridge to the police station. I'm not going in that direction. Excuse me.
What do you want?
Where could I get a boat?
Are you kidding me?
Why?
Just walk along the shoreline and pick one up. The town is letting people use them for free to encourage fishing.
You can't be serious. The lake is dead.
I love it.
About the boat. What can I do?
The only fool to have one is that old fisherman. Dead fisherman? I haven't seen him for a while.
Excuse me. I'm not a pest. The owner's... Those shrubs look poisonous. I'm staying... It's locked. Only silent... Which path should I take? It's me again. You keep the corpses of 2 children in your boat?
My father and mother were small people. Midgets, as some would say.
What are they doing in there?
Laying peacefully in their temporary grave.
Why the massive cross on top?
To protect them from the moon ghouls. Faith is the only thing that wards them off. But not for long.
Was it torched? The wood is very dark.
I made it from the trees that grow behind my house. I would never torch a cross.
A temporary grave?
They were recently exhumed and I had to take care of them.
I don't understand. Who exhumed them?
Henry, the priest of Sveti Kotar, he banished me from the church, and so my parents had to move out from the town's graveyard. Soil outside the church walls is tainted. The boat was the safest place.
They were clergy?
No. I dressed them as such to protect their bodies. The moon ghouls eat flesh, and they don't care if it's warm or cold.
What sin have you committed to have been banished?
Son, we are all original sinners, waiting for redemption.
We are, but you did something to deserve it.
God knows that is not the truth. Listen, talk to Henry. Reason with him. He must unban me.
Why would I do that?
Because you need the boat. If Henry accepts, I could move my parents back into their grave and the boat would be free again.
It's an opportunity to fulfill Father Imre's wish as well. Where can I find his church?
The Church of Ivan Kotar. Go back through the square, find the police station, then follow the alley to your right. Just be sure not to stray into Kuga. Wicked, evil people wander the former school district. They have no soul and have lost all faith.
I'll see what I can do.
He's not an easy man to talk to, but maybe he'll be more reasonable with you, monk.
You have no intention of telling me what you did?
I don't know. One day, he just said we are not welcome anymore. You have to ask him.
Excuse me. It's me again. Excuse me. Which path should I take?
mailbox? Not sure. It looks strange. Its ropes bear some resemblance to hangman's nooses. Makes sense for a town like this. I'm not going into the police station. I would risk being taken in for questioning, and they could be conspiring with Hatur. I have no reason to go that way. It's a narrow, shady street that... It's a long road that follows the river uphill and into the forest. I'm not... I have no reason to go that way. It's a narrow, shady street. Ivan Kotar, born in 1159, died in 1218. It's locked. There's a time and place to talk to him. This is not one of them. I have nothing to do in there. I'm sinless. Strange. The sculpture of Jesus is not nailed to the cross, as it should be, but rather just tied up. It's an embalmed priest, decapitated. His head is laying on a golden plate.
The Vatican declared him a traitor, an ally of the evil forces. Can you imagine that?
Father Henry?
Henry Istrator, and you are?
Benedict.
A fellow man of the cloth, certainly.
What gave me away?
Your aura. And of course, the tiny crosses on your sleeves. You were saying your name?
Benedict Dochnani.
Ah, Victoria's brother. We finally meet. What can I do for you, Brother Benedict?
You met my sister?
Did I meet her? Who knows? Do I know of her? Yes, as every person, crow, and rat in this town.
But how do you know we are relatives?
I have infinite power, and am highly respected. When word spreads, it reaches my ears first.
I have a theory of what happened here, but I'd like to know more so that I can solidify it. You know much. Maybe you can help me.
I'm here for you, brother.
A man that goes by the name Yakov Prenger. Was he a former priest of this church?
He preceded me. Why?
I heard he went missing.
True. He was the warden of the asylum before Ranko became mayor. Then, one night, he just disappeared.
Any ideas what happened to him?
He was kidnapped by the Saborans and became their prey, the usual for this town. The new warden got him imprisoned because he knew too much? Or maybe that poor blind lady killed him because he couldn't love her the way she loved him. It's a mystery.
Was he a good warden?
Better than Hatur? Yes. Good? No. He was too soft and hesitant. We could have done so much more regarding the war against the Saborans.
Seems to me you're holding a grudge against him. Am I wrong?
We never liked each other. He was sent by the Vatican to take my place here. The Vatican, which for centuries never tried to contact anyone in this town, sends a man to take my seat? I could do nothing but step down. Yes, I hated him as much as I hate the Vatican. And I'm grateful to whoever made him disappear.
How come there's nothing in the Vatican's official archives about Sveti Kotar?
Because of Ivan Kotar. This town has an open dispute with the Vatican because of him. First, they sent emissaries to execute him. Then they denied the authorities to name this town in his honor. We did what was right, named him a patron saint. The Vatican is run by a mass of hypocrites.
It's the Holy See we are talking about here. There's nothing closer to God.
Nothing closer to God? Just because they said so centuries again? How can they ignore what Kotar did here? Maybe they are now aware of their own mistakes from the past, but have done absolutely nothing to mend them.
You cannot question their decisions. It's like questioning the Bible.
Brother, let's agree we don't agree and leave it there. We have other things to worry about right now.
I've never heard of a priest talking about the church in this way. Unacceptable. But this, along with other things I've learned until now, might be enough information for Father Imre. What can you tell me about the mayor of Sveti Kotar?
Ranko Merzel, a lurid creature, far worse than his father ever was. Corrupt, full of sin, and unscrupulous. Gullible as well. He never saw his death coming, even though he knew he was chased by it. I was called to bless his soul before the funeral. Not going to. The very thought of it sickens me.
Who was Ranko's father?
Fran Merzel. He and our former priest, Yakov, founded Marov Asylum.
I welcomed the decision, but not anymore. Things changed quickly, and the asylum mutated into the same thing it originally tried to uproot.
And what would that be?
Marov became an island of terror and death for the Catholic community, instead of being a shield that protects it. It was founded with the goal to heal the unfaithful ones, and more importantly, to identify, catch, and execute the Saborans. Now it's a place where our brothers and sisters go and never return from. Healthy individuals full of faith just vanish.
Fran had his share of sins, but he founded Marov with sincere intentions to help the town. Little did he know at the time the evil seeds he had planted.
Ranko was chased by death?
Nermin, his brother, the worst of the Merzel family, worst of all men, an incarnation of evil. Although coming from a Catholic family, from the day of his birth it was clear there was something dreadfully wrong with him. I don't know him well, nobody does. But everyone knows about his deeds.
Chief Noren said he is a moon ghoul.
True, he is a Saboran. Some say even the current leader of their cult. He was once incarcerated in the asylum, but managed to escape. No one can find him anymore. I guess there is not enough will. It's not about the will to find Nermin. He's just a tiny shadow in a starless sky. People in this town dread things they cannot see or feel. The unknowable. They fear it because it is everywhere God is not.
You're talking about the moon ghouls now, right?
That is just a name for the weak. Call them by their true name, the Saborans. The Saborans are not unknowable. They are an ancient tribe that glorifies death, diseases, and pain. Cannibals who cultivate morbid rituals as part of their religion. Sekvra.
Sekvra? I've heard that name before, somewhere.
You heard it because there was a book of the same name, the original copy of which was lost in the 15th century.
Yes, it all happened during the Valais witch trials.
Dark times fell upon that place because of the book. It vanished with its author, a witch by the name of Jadwiga Mazrak. You can see the Saborans are not a complete mystery. Things we cannot possibly understand are, my brother, the forces and entities this tribe worships. Only madness and death await those who manage to understand. It is what happened to Ivan Kotar. after all. Let's leave this subject. I cannot possibly recount centuries of their history in the reasonable time I have now. Maybe one day you'll be able to read the pamphlet I've written on them. Maybe.
I came here to ask you about Arsen and your dispute with him.
Dispute? I don't want to talk about it. Not before I get comfortable with you. Let's talk about other things for now.
Tell me about the asylum's warden.
Hatur. As the head of the asylum, I know he is somehow involved in the conspiracy against the Catholics. I'm the only person in this town who openly criticizes him, the chief, and the mayor. In one way or another, they are all acting against God, and possibly fallen under the influence of the Saborans. What interests you about him?
My sister's husband went missing after visiting him at the lodge.
Nikolai. He was kidnapped. But I feel there is more you want to say.
Victoria met with Hatur last night. They talked, and I still can't understand what happened to her.
So I was right. This sheds new light on the warden and the tribe. Not so much on her.
You think my sister joined the tribe?
I do, although I don't know how. Have you seen any changes in her lately?
That is a question for her husband. After our father disappeared, I went into monkhood. Since then, I barely see her.
When things start to look bad, some people think it's God's fault. Instead of showing him more love, they turn away from him. They don't realize it is only then, when they decide to forget him, that they start to wither their own souls. Sometimes they don't just wither, but rot. Rot until it is too late to get off the path that leads to hell.
The warden is meeting with the Saborans. A boy told me.
What boy?
Anton. He saw them meeting more than once.
Our protege. I knew he had been sneaking out, just couldn't prove it.
He saw Hatur taking Nikolai away to a locality called Klek.
I've never visited that hill, but everyone knows what that place is. The boy could be right.
Victoria abandoned God. I can feel it in my heart. She did it. The same happens to our aunt. She abandoned God, turned her faith to strange beliefs, and experienced a dreadful death.
It doesn't matter what you feel and what I believe. You have to find the whole truth. It is your responsibility. Find your sister and the truth that is hiding with her. I would risk going to the stake if I had to choose whether she is guilty or not. This town has many possible sources of evil.
Where should I look for her?
Begin with Klek. You might find her there with your brother-in-law, hopefully still alive.
What other sources of evil?
Everyone, including those who impose the so-called law. Everyone could be evil, even those who claim to be faithful. Keep your eyes open.
What about your dispute with Arsen?
Where did you meet that fool?
He's my only chance to get across the lake, and
You need his boat to get to Klek. So why didn't he give it to you? He doesn't need it. He's dying due to that vampire of his.
His parents are inside the boat. Did you exhume them?
Of course I didn't. I ordered the gravekeeper to do it. Arsene and his family are not welcome here anymore. The man is not evil, merely a fool who let evil do upon him.
What vampire?
Didn't you talk to him?
I did.
And you didn't notice that hideous dark thing on his neck?
No.
That fool got himself a parasitic giant worm. A leech he named Hem.
That's disgusting. But what is the reason you banned him?
I'm telling you, it's Hem. That thing was born and found deep inside the Carcassa forest. It's evil.
Can't he just get rid of it?
Arsene believes Hem was sent to him from God. Can you believe it? He gave it a name and looks to it as his own child.
So what now? Anywhere else I could get a boat?
He is your only chance. And it seems like you are his only chance as well, if it's not too late.
What do you mean?
If he accepts to kill Hem, I promise I will think about reintegrating him and his family into our church again. But I need proof. I need to see Hem dead.
How do you expect him to kill the thing he sees as his own child?
That is the tricky part. I already tried to persuade him. Now it's your turn. If you succeed, you will get what you want.
You will just think about reintegrating him, or you will do it?
I'll do it.
Immediately after I give you a dead Hem.
I promise.